up, family? Welcome to Ask to My Ops,
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This is my amazing wife, Aiyana.
And this is my tasty husband, Ayize. We always get words to describe each other, so that's my first time pulling that one out the hat. Tasty.
Tasty.
All right, y'all, you checking out our online advice column and blog, and we do this each and every day. We answer questions that you give us, tell you our opinions, and always keep it 100%
real.
So, y'all, we got a real doozy of a question today, and I hope that folks will take the time to comment and give your opinion on this, because a young lady wrote in, and she's got a lot on her plate. So let's get to it. It's a very long letter. We're not going to read it all. My husband's going to sum it up, and we need to hear from you.
All right, she writes in saying, I've been struggling with reaching out for help for the past couple of weeks, and I've reached the breaking point. The man that I live with today isn't anything like the man that I met and fell in love with. It's almost like I'm married to a stranger. I do love him, and I always tell him that if it wasn't God's will for us to be married, then we wouldn't be. I want to make this marriage work, but I don't know what else to say or do. It's to the point where I'm the only one bold enough to tell my husband that he isn't doing right by me, our kids, or our marriage. And since everyone that we know only talks about the wrong that he does behind his back, it just seems like I'm the one who's tripping. We've been married for almost 6 months, and my husband doesn't seem to understand what being married is or what it takes to maintain a marriage and a family.
All right, so she lists a lot of issues that they're dealing with, and so we're going to just sum them up for you real quick.
Now remember, they've been married for 6 months.
6 months. Issue number one.
Issue number one is the fact that one of the things she brings up in the letter is that he looks at online porn. And he has a tendency to do this, which is taken away from the intimacy he could be demonstrating towards her. And
it's not just online porn. Some folks are okay with that, but she talks about online porn and internet dating sites. And she said that she found out he has profiles on these sites. So profiles, when you like looking for somebody, generally speaking. And she told him that, and he said, you know, I'm just, you know, checking it out. You know, it's not that serious, basically. So that's issue number one. Another thing that he does, he likes to roll out, you know, and go travel to his home state to see his family, so he says. But here's the catch. He doesn't tell her that he's leaving. They got one car. He takes the car. He rolls out. He doesn't tell her. He leaves her and the kids for days at a time. And he don't answer the phone when she calls. He don't return any of the calls. And he don't call to check on them. He just pop back in town when he gets ready. Have you lost your mind? I mean, that's pretty serious right there.
Now, another thing that she says is that he lost his job some time ago, and he told her that he would be the one responsible for bringing in the income, bringing the bread home, and that, you know, if
because she's supposed to be finishing a semester of her last semester to complete her college degree.
Yeah, and at this particular point, she's also not working either. So he has the opportunity to step up to the plate, but he's not. He's not stepping up to the plate. When she says that she's going to go out and start to look for work.
She's been looking. She's been putting in applications.
What he says to her is that, you know, you need to fall back. I'm the one that said I was going to be taking charge right here. So, you know, but he's not taking charge. He's not stepping up. So they're in a conundrum because they ain't got no money right now.
Right. Then another issue is sex. She said in their sex life, it seems like he's not attracted to her. She tries to make herself attractive. She asks about having sex. They do it about 3 or 4 times a month. And he's like, you know, when she's asking, he's like, just give me a minute, give me a minute, give me a minute, until she just finally gives up and goes to sleep. And he's just like, you know, you're just making too much of a big deal out of it. You know, leave me alone type of thing. The other thing is that before they were married, she mentioned that he did leave her. He walked out on her one time, and that she even found out that he had relationships with different women who he was using for money. And her words were he was reeling them in to use their money. And even one person, she found that they had exchanged nude pictures, and the lady bought him a plane ticket, and he was about to get on the plane and go see this lady to hook up with her. Okay. I don't know if we forgot something, but it's already enough, is it not? I mean, are you feeling this at home? Is it not more than enough already? Me and my husband may have slightly different views on this, but here's my piece. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. All right, I ain't going to go any further, but that may give you a sense of where I'm coming from. Let me say this. We're marriage educators. I never tell anybody that I think that they should leave that I think that they should separate, divorce, anything. I never do, even when I see some craziness, because I say, you know what, it's a very personal decision, unless it's abuse or something like that, you know. But I say it's very personal, and it is. You know, people say, roll out. You know, you don't know what you do until you're in a situation. And that's what I'm real clear about. But I'm just going to give you my personal opinion. I'm going to go ahead and let it out there. Peace. You got to be able to be on the same page at least. You bringing stuff to him, sis, and he's basically saying, like, it's not that serious. I know I got a profile on the internet dating sites, but it ain't that serious. I know I leave you for days at a time. You can't get me. I don't call you back. I ain't checking in with you and the kids. What the hell? That's not cool. And you got too many issues. My husband talks about the fact that, you know, there are these categories. Mm-hmm. There are 5 categories. He often brings this up that people usually have problems in when it comes to being able to maintain a healthy relationship or marriage. And I know he's going to speak on it.
Yeah, those, you know, my wife, she's saying you should roll out. Basically, you should say peace. And, you know, I'm not going to jump to you saying peace right now. What I will say is that, like my wife just mentioned, there's a couple of categories that often cause or have been noted to be problem areas in relationships that do not succeed. And these 5 categories are money, sex, parenting, in-laws, and time. If you're having issues in those areas, you would, you know, be like most people whose relationships don't work. And it seems that in this situation right here, you're having issues in 4 of the 5 areas. And
4 out of 5.
And that right there is significant. You know, you're having issues with the money, you're having issues with the sex, you're having issues with parenting because he's not there to raise his children.
And
you're having issues with quality time.
And they're significant issues. This ain't itty bitty.
Yeah, you know, so what I would suggest to you is that you need to most definitely make sure you're trying to exhaust all resources. I'm not going to say roll out. What I'm going to say is that you need to put a plan in place. You need to make sure you set some boundaries, some guidelines, and say, these are my requirements. Mm-hmm. We need to do A, B, C, and D in order for me to remain invested in this relationship. It's not just about you doing. He got to do too. You know, we need to do this as a couple. But you need to do this individually to show that you're interested, that you're willing to make this relationship work. And if you can't do that, if you're not willing to go to therapy, if you're not willing to step up to the plate and do something, then really and truthfully, I mean, you're at the verge of exhausting all resources, so it might be best that you roll out. But, you know, again, put a plan in place. There could be a timeline on this plan, but put something in place. Let him know what it is. You all come to this together. And, you know, if things don't change for the better, then you got to do what you got to do.
That may get you all on the same page. I'm just speaking from my gut. I don't know you, and I don't know him. So I don't know. Only you know. My gut says that when people got issues that deep and that significant that are going on in a relationship, when he's bringing this much conflict and drama to the game of marriage, he got some personal work he need to do. And he need to do it for a long while before he can even be ready to be able to be the man that you need him to be. But that's just my little piece.
Because he can be the man that you need him to be. I mean, people go from tragedy to triumph all the time. So we're not saying that, you know, he's a complete scrub. Right now he might be a scrub. He might be a bum right now. But that doesn't mean that he can't evolve. So what we're saying is that put that plan in place.
He absolutely can. I do agree with that. You know, I like to call it like it is. I'm not saying he doesn't have potential, but he's just looking kind of scrubbish right now. He is.
So put that plan in place and, you know, try to work this thing out, you know. Put some timelines on it, and if he's not able to commit and make it work, then peace.
Peace. Everybody got to have non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. What are yours? All right, y'all. As always, stop playing. Start pushing. Let us know what you think.